This is Misu Kim. He's on his way home from school. He's just a normal kid. He has nothing special that sets him apart. Then, all of a sudden, a truck hits him. Everything goes black. As Misu Kim regained his senses, he realized that the landscape around him was unlike anything he's ever seen. Skyscrapers were replaced by floating castles, rivers instead of roads, and the usual city noise was replaced by a melody of strange animal calls. In that moment, Misu knew he wasn't in Korea anymore. He had been transported to an entirely new world. Once he overcame his initial shock, Misu started learning more about this world. As he explored, he came across a priest who revealed to him the only way to go back home is to vanquish the Demon Lord, who ruled over this realm. With this knowledge, Misu had no choice but to embark on a journey. On this journey, battling creatures and overcoming daunting obstacles, and even finding allies along the way whose friendships would last lifetimes. As the final confrontation neared, Misu felt the weight of the world on his shoulders. Every step closer to the Demon Lord was a reminder of the journey he had taken to get here. Gathering all of his courage, he approached the malicious aura of the Demon Lord. This was the moment of truth, a battle that would decide the fate of this world. Misu knew he had no choice but to emerge victorious, because he is the hero. Alright, this intro's getting a little bit out of hand and I don't have the time to animate this fight, so we're just gonna fast forward through it, alright? Thanks. Misu had successfully defeated the Demon Lord. Cheers of joy echoed from every corner as the people of this world celebrated their newfound freedom. There were songs of victory, dances of joy, and the air was filled with laughter. Before he journeyed back home, Misu was hailed as their savior. His name was etched in the annals of their history. This was a tribute to the hero who had risked everything to free them from the clutches of the Demon Lord. But now Misu would have to embark on a new journey, a journey back home. It turns out that disappearing from the world has grave consequences. When Misu returned, he found himself with nothing. Tragically, his mother had passed away after being hit by a car while distributing missing person flyers of him. Shortly thereafter, his father took his own life, unable to handle the grief of losing his son and now his wife. Misu had become an outcast in society, seen as just a high school dropout who had a runaway from home incident. Even his extended family harbored resentment towards him, blaming him for the deaths of his parents. While wandering aimlessly, Misu encountered a couple who was ruthlessly taunting and mocking him. This unfortunate encounter became the tipping point, pushing him to his breaking point. He looked at him and asked, "Why am I the only one sad? It's not fair. I'm the hero. I should be the least unhappy here." Misu then raises his hands and utters the words, "Come forth, sword of Duran." His sword descends from the sky, obliterating the man who dared to mock him. Misu then embarks on a relentless rampage to make everyone feel the pain he feels. That was a rough summary of the prologue to The Warrior Returns. To give you a better idea of what this manga is about, it's about Misu Kim going postal and destroying the world. But he's not the only hero who has come back to the world. Heck, he isn't even the main protagonist of this world. He's the main antagonist. Now you might be asking, well then who's the main protagonist? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Jong-soon Park. Going forward, we're going to call him the Spear Hero because I can't pronounce names to save my life. Well, who is the Spear Hero, you ask? He is an unfortunate victim of Misu. Imagine watching Misu go on a killing spree, taking out everybody on sight, including poor Jing-son's mom and little sister right in front of him. Talk about having a rough day. This man literally watched Misu cut his family in half right in front of him, and he wasn't even able to do anything. Like, Misu literally grabbed him by the throat and told him, "What are you gonna do about it?" and proceeds to impale him with his sword. And homie doesn't get a break because this story takes an unexpected turn. As soon as he kicks the bucket, guess what happens? He gets isekai to a whole brand new world, and he wastes no time at all. He basically does an isekai speedrun with only one thing on his mind: returning to our world and murdering Misu. The people who summoned him are utterly baffled. They're like, "Yo, what is wrong with this dude? Is he okay in the head?" As he channels his inner Doomslayer, brutally killing anybody who gets in his way.
Die! Are you sure this guy's the hero?
One of my personal favorite scenes in the manga is when he repeatedly brings the Demon Lord back to life just to keep killing him. The poor Demon Lord pleads,
"Please, let me die. I no longer wish to feel this pain."
Stop hurting him. We have to save the Demon Lord. Somebody help me.
But guess what happens when he finally makes it back to our world? It's a mess. And to make matters worse, Misu has rallied a group of other heroes, each holding their own territories over Korea. That's right, it's an isekai version of the Akatsuki. And I think that's pretty fucking dope. Some of the warriors take inspiration from other famous isekais and animes. For example, the hero of Return, who is basically Natsuki Subaru from ReZero. He is basically an evil Subaru. If you're a fan of anime, there's no doubt that you'll appreciate the references to shows like ReZero and The Rising of the Shield Hero. Anyways, the Spear Hero embarks on a journey across Korea in search of Misu, while also eliminating rogue warriors on the way. Like, Buddy thinks he's in Dark Souls. He doesn't care about the plot, he's just killing boss after boss trying to get to Misu. Now, you might be wondering why there isn't any other good warriors. Well, there are. Unfortunately, most of the other warriors were eliminated while the Spear Hero was away, leaving only a few left who all went into hiding waiting for an opportunity to arise. When news of the Spear Hero's success in battle spreads far and wide, the remaining heroes come out of hiding and join the fight. A cool thing about the warriors that you find out about is that the warriors have been disappearing and returning to the world for a long time, even before Misu. So you have multiple generations of heroes fighting their successors. Take for example the Faith Warriors. You have the latest Faith Warrior who is on Misu's side causing chaos. Then you have the OG Faith Warrior who is on our side who comes out of hiding to put a stop to his successor. And then you have the strongest of all the Faith Warriors, the second generation. And who might that be? Well, he is no other than Adolf Hitler. Okay, well not exactly. He's basically anime Hitler, but it's the same thing. But dude was such a menace that when he came back to our world, he literally took over Germany and tried to take over the world. This caused the World War to start. It took heroes from all over the world to come together and stop him. And even then they couldn't kill him. They had to seal him away. Like, Misu is such a menace to the world that the world governments had to go and have a meeting to discuss letting Adolf Hitler out of his seal just so he can kill Misu. Like, isn't that insane? Hey, turn on the news. Trump has an important announcement.
We have come to the decision to unseal Hitler to save the world and make America great again.
We're all going to die. And I'm only scratching the surface of the lore behind the warriors. But let's talk about the fights. It's like taking the Fate series and replacing historical figures like King Arthur and Gilgamesh with beloved anime characters. Like, picture Sailor Moon battling Dracula. It's not gonna go well for Sailor Moon, but it's pretty awesome. Like, if you're a fan of anime, you're gonna really enjoy these battles. Like, the homages that the author gives are just so awesome. Moreover, the author delves into the backstories of each warrior, providing a deep understanding of their motivations and identities. Some of these tales are incredibly tragic, like the Warrior of Time's backstory is really sad. Like, Buddy made me cry. And I cry a lot, but still, it was pretty impactful. And like, it literally made him my favorite character. So don't judge me, alright? Come fight me. I won't dive into any of the heroes' backstories just because I feel like that's something that you should experience yourself by reading the manga. And yeah, that's like a brief summary of the Warrior Returns. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, I definitely think you should give this manga a shot. You can read it for free legally on Webtoons, and you can read that on your phone or your computer. Also, if you could drop a like, that'd be awesome. It really helps out my channel and I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I'll catch you around.